Okay, so we're back. This is part 3. Alright, so we left off right here, Exodus 20:7. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High thy power in vain, for the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Okay, so I told you in the last video, taking the name of the Most High in vain is not believing in his word, talking bad about the Bible, saying no, that's not in there when it's in there. Take the time to be sober. Take the time to be humble when you speak in his word. Okay? Let's do things in order. Okay, so now we're going to go to the 4th greatest commandment. This is the 4th greatest commandment. This is a big one. This is a big one. Okay? This is one a lot of people look over. Exodus 20:8, almost practically the whole world. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Okay, what is the Sabbath day? I need a calendar. The Sabbath day is the 7th day of the week. Okay. Now we have new moons, we have new moon convocations, and we have Sabbath days. Okay, that's a whole different class. So right now our biggest thing is remember the Sabbath day for those new people. The Sabbath day is Saturday, as we say it in this world. Saturday is a pagan god. The word Saturday, Saturn, it's after the planet. But it's called the Sabbath day, which means 7. Sabbatical year. Sabbath day. To keep it holy. Okay? This is the 4th greatest commandment. There's 10 commandments and this is the 4th greatest one and no one's keeping it. Isn't that something? You ask anyone on the street who go to church, do you keep the commandments? They'll say, yeah, I keep the commandments. All 10? Yeah, I keep them. Can you name them? No, I can't name them all. They'll try, they'll miss them. This is the one they'll miss. Remember the Sabbath. Most people don't even know this is here. The Sabbath day. Okay? So what laws fall under the Sabbath day? I already showed you the laws that fall under the other ones. Okay? What laws actually fall under the Sabbath day? Let me show you. This is a big one that everybody thinks is gone. I'm going to show you. Let's go to Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23 says here, and the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Holy convocations. Not Christmas, not Thanksgiving, not Easter, because Easter comes a week or 2 weeks after Passover. Okay, so when I was speaking about how the children of Israel, how we're not supposed to serve other gods, idolatry, bowing down to these guys can cause the Most High's anger to be kindled against us. Alright, the children of Israel. So we're going to read Judges 2:10. And also all that generation were gathered unto their fathers, and there arose another generation after them, which knew not the Most High, nor yet the works which he had done for Israel. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Most High, and served Balaam. Excuse me. Judges 2:12. And they forsook the Most High, their power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt. We're in Egypt again now, see, the United States of America. And followed other gods, of the gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Most High to anger. Didn't the scriptures say, Exodus 20:3, thou shalt not bow down to any other gods? Okay, let's go to Judges 2:13. And they forsook the Most High, and served Baal and Ashtoreth. Remember that one. Ashtaroth. Judges 2:14. The anger of the Most High was not against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of the spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. Okay, and this is what's going on now with the children of Israel. They can't escape their enemies because they're following and bowing down to these gods still to this day. The Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians doing the same thing. And that's why the Most High's anger is against them. So we cannot even overcome the smallest thing. So let's find out who Ashtaroth is. The Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop. Okay, so we're going to go into this book. He's a scholar about history and pagan idols. So we're going to go to page 103, and this is going to talk about Easter, section 2, Easter. Then look at Easter. What means the term Easter itself? It is not a Christian name. It bears its Chaldean origin on its very forehead. Easter is nothing else than Astarte, one of the titles of Beltis, the Queen of Heaven, whose name, as pronounced by the people of Nineveh, was evidently identical with that now in common use in this country. Okay? That name, as found by Leonard on the Assyrian monuments, is Ishtar, to worship of Baal and Astarte. Now that's the same thing as what we read in the Bible. Baal and Astarte was very early introduced into Britain along with the Druids, the priests of the groves. Some have imagined that the Druidical worship was first introduced by the Phoenicians, who centuries before the Christians traded to the tin mines of Cornwall. But the unequivocal traces of that worship are found in regions of the British Islands where the Phoenicians never penetrated, and it has everywhere left indelible marks of the stronghold which it must have had on the early British mind. From Baal, the 1st of May is still called Beltane in the almanac, and we have customs still lingering at this day among us, which prove how exactly the worship of Baal or Molech, for both titles belong to the same God. Okay, so basically, he's telling you who Ashtoreth is. This Astarte is actually the Queen of Heaven. Okay, a pagan god. That's where the word Easter comes from. So Easter normally comes. They follow the full moon. They don't follow the new moon. Pagans do. All right. So we go by the new moon. If you look at Exodus 12, it tells you the 14th day after the first new moon is you will keep your Passover. All right. Now the pagans follow the full moon. 10 days after the full moon, you would keep your pagan holidays. So this is where we get Easter. Okay, so now you know Easter's origin comes from Ashtoreth. So you got people, mainly Negroes, going to church on Sunday, breaking their neck once a year to go to church on Sunday. Alright, for Easter. Dressing up, not still having an idea or a clue why they're doing it. They're thinking that's the Lord's Day, and it's not. Passover is the Most High's Day, which was a week ago. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to end with that. Let's go over and find out about Christmas. Okay, here's another pagan god. Alright, here's one right here. It says the Christmas tree is Nimrod Rediverse, basically recreated again. The slain god came to life again. See that? That's what the Christmas tree represents, Nimrod. The Yule log is also the dead stock of Nimrod. See that? Which was a pagan god as well. He's the one that wanted to fight the Most High by building the Tower of Babel. Okay? Don't want to find it is Christmas. Here we go. This is page 93. This is Christmas. It says, the Lord's birth can't be determined, and that within the Christian church, no such festival as Christmas was ever heard of till the 3rd century, and that not till the 4th century was far advanced did it gain much observance. How then did the Roman Church fix on December the 25th as Christmas Day? Why? Thus, long before the 4th century and long before the Christians itself, a festival was celebrated among the heathen at that precise time of the year in honor of the birth of the son of the Babylonian Queen of Heaven. There it is again. So even Christmas is not the actual day of Christ, and that's not the day we're supposed to be celebrating. Okay? Christ was born in the springtime. When you read Luke chapter 2, verse 40, it says every year when he was 12 years old, his family went to celebrate the Passover. Not Christmas, not Easter, but the Passover. Alright? And basically, why are you giving honor? Like my elders say, well, why are you giving honor to Santa Claus when you work hard the whole year at your job, overtime and all that, buy gifts for your kids or your children, and they turn around and give honor to Santa Claus? Not even Yahweh, not even to the Most High, but to Santa Claus, a child molester. Alright? So we have to explain to our children that these are false gods. Alright? That's love. Holy convocations, even these are my feasts. Even these are my feasts. Did you hear what I just said? Even these are my feasts. Now let's go to the next one. And this is right after it. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Look up here. To be holy convocations concerning the feast. To be holy, they're right up under the Sabbath day. Meaning you got to keep the feast too. The feast days, out of the 613 laws, all the laws concerning the feast days fall under the Sabbath day. They all fall under the Sabbath. You see that? 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein, and it is the Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings, whether you be in Israel, whether you be in Ethiopia, whether you be in Europe, whether you be in China, whether you be in Timbuktu, Philippines, America, all your dwellings, all. So the Sabbath day, get this correct. The feast days fall under the Sabbath day. So this is the umbrella for all the feast days. The Sabbath day. Under that commandment, the feast days fall under. These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. So this, look at it. So you mean to tell me you're going to ignore this whole chapter and say, okay, this is not important? The Old Testament, nothing is important. Nothing. Not even the tribes of Israel, because they're in the Old Testament. That's not important anymore. All right. The breakdown of Christ, Yahweh, being all through the Old Testament, prophesied that he would come. That's done away with too. Huh? So that means the Ten Commandments is done away with too, right? I'm being funny. I'm telling y'all got to keep these commandments. These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim, meaning to say out loud. Tell them, do it. Ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month, at even is the Most High's Passover. So, I mean, this is the fifth line? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fifth line. Most High already jumping into the Passover, which is the beginning of the year, which just passed last week. All right. Passover is always in the spring. It's not during Christmas. It's not during January. It's during the spring. Animals are getting ready to have babies in a minute. They're making babies as we speak. They're having babies, some of them right now. Trees are blooming. Fruits are starting to come out on trees right now. This is the new year. That's why April Fools is April Fools. They fooled the whole world. April Fool's Day, you're fooled. And take this. In Genesis, this is the time that the Most High flooded the earth. Right around this time. It says, in the 14th day of the first month, at even is the Most High's Passover. So right around the Pentecost time is when the Most High flooded the whole earth. Look at what the earth's doing. Spring break, we're partying, right? Weddings are starting to take place right now. This is springtime. All right? Most High said that's what they're going to be doing. Getting married. You know, nothing's going to change. You know, was that 1 Thessalonians? I think it's 4:1. Might be 5:1. I'm not sure. Yeah, let's go 5. Let's go 1 Thessalonians 5:1. I'm just showing you, brothers and sisters, this is what Yahushua did. He made sense out of the law so you get to understand it. You know, it says here, but other times and seasons, you may not be able to see this kind of high, but other times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Most High so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Now they say peace and security. You look around the government, they say peace. They don't say peace and safety. That's too scary. It's too right on point to say it. Look around. You can Google it on the internet. Peace and security. That's a big slogan. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. This is not the one. There's one that says they'll still be getting married and all that stuff. I forget where it is. But we'll go back. I don't want to get off track. That's a good one too. Okay, so where were we? We were, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So now we know what falls under the Sabbath day. All the feast days. That whole Levitical chapter 23, it talks about all 7 feast days. Okay? The Passover, the Day of Atonement, Feast of Trumpets, Chanukah, you know, all of those, man. Pentecost, talks about all that in there. So that's what falls under the Sabbath day. Okay? 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High, thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work. Not do any work. That's plain, right? Anyone can interpret that, right? But in the 7th day, he doesn't say in the 8th day or the 9th day or the 10th day or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. He says, makes it real simple. But in the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High, thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. But wait, we're in captivity. We in captivity. We can't hold up to that. This is where the common sense come in at, brothers and sisters. If you already got a job and you're working and the Sabbath day come up, guess what? On your job, you have liberties. You could ask your boss, hey, I need the 7th day off. I need Saturday off. That's the day that I worship. That's the day that I serve my God. It's a holy day for me. That's when you open your mouth. But if you just started the job, don't start demanding things until you've been there for about 9 months to a year, till you get off probation. Okay? Then you start asking for the 7th day off. So when you start working a brand new job, you do the best you can. Because the Most High, He understands that. He understands what you got to do. If you got to take care of your family with that job, that's what you got to do. If that's the only job come across your table, you better take it. If you got bills to pay. Use common sense. Did not Yahushua heal on the Sabbath day? Every miracle He did was on the Sabbath day. Every single one of them. Okay? It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath day. If you can help it. Okay? So once you get established, ask for that Sabbath day off, then you keep the Sabbath day holy. You know what I mean? Throughout the day. Then some of you have to fight with your family on the Sabbath day. You know, some of your family will look at you like you're crazy. Some of you stay with your mothers or your fathers, and their Sabbath day is Sunday. So here you are resting on the Saturday. That's the day, if you live with your mom and dad, that's probably when they clean the house or cut the grass or what have you. They're going to say, boy, get your butt out there, cut the grass. You know? So how you going to keep the Sabbath day when you stay with your family? That's a hard one. Common sense, brothers and sisters, use it. Use it and stick to it. All right? Yahushua understands. But try to keep it. Exodus 20:11. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. That's why we keep it. Because even the Most High, if you went up to heaven right now, the Most High be keeping the Sabbath days. If you went up there during the Passover, guess what? Most High be up there looking at us, seeing who keeping the Passover. He's still keeping the holy days. All right. Let me show you something. Isaiah 66. Trying to find it. Right here. Okay, this is when we get into the kingdom. So Isaiah 66:22. For as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make. This is a new heaven, okay? When the earth is all burnt up and the new heaven comes, that's what he's saying. For as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Most High, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, meaning we're going to be keeping the new moons and having service, and from one Sabbath to another, wait a minute, the Sabbath is still in there. In the new kingdom, we still going to keep the Sabbath. And from one Sabbath to another shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High. That's why we rehearse it now. So when we get there, that's why he says, for as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Most High. So shall your seed and your name remain, meaning this seed is keeping the commandments in this kingdom. That's how it's going to remain. If your seed keep the Sabbath in this kingdom, you're going to make it in that kingdom. That's why Yahushua said, he that do my Father's will enter the kingdom of heaven. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High. It says, and they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched. Remember that parable we read, Luke chapter 16, with Lazarus and the rich man? Remember that? Where Lazarus was in the bosom of Abraham in the rich man's song. It says, and they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die. That's how the Most High calls men worms. Those who don't want to listen, like a snake. They're worms. Neither shall their fire be quenched. That fire is going to burn them. And they shall be at a hatred, abhorring unto all flesh. You're going to look at that person and be like, man, all you had to do is keep the law of the prophets. That's all you had to do. It was right there. That Bible. It was right there. You couldn't do it. Dummy. You know? That's how we going to look at it. You stupid. All right. All right. I'll end it with that one.